Hey guys, it's Gary here, and I'm back with another video with the paintbrush microphone, so that means another cool art talk video. What am I doing as an animation student? I know you guys have lots of questions, and I'm here to answer them today, and also to thank you guys so much for 50,000 subscribers. That's insane, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I've been doing this for the last 8 years on YouTube. I'm 22 years old. I started this when I was 14, and you guys have a lot of questions, so I've never properly introduced myself or anything much. I mostly stick it to the art, so today is a special video, so I'm going to be answering all your dying questions about animation school, art, and some more personal questions about myself. So let's get right into it. Art school related questions. Sunny Tao asks, my question is, do you think art school was good for you? Community, but if you don't mind sharing, what program did you do and where? I'm so sorry I butchered your name. Yes, I believe art school was really good for me, and the college I went to is called Miami-Dade Community College in Miami, Florida, and the program I did was the Game Art and Animation program. It's a 2-year program. It's the animation track. They have another program with a similar name that just focuses on game design. Crunker Dude asks, did you go to an animation school because you actually want to do animation, or is it because you wanted to replace art school? I went to school because I want to learn animation, and there's not a lot of programs in my area that offers it at an affordable cost, and the ones that do offer it, they have some sort of lottery system. It's very hard to get in. My plan of action before this college was University of Central Florida. They have an animation program. It's super intensive, and with the state of the economy, I couldn't move middle of Florida, so I chose this program. And I would have chose any program that had animation in it because I was looking for something that had animation near me. I really want to become an animator. I want to run my own shows. I want to be a showrunner. I don't exactly know what I want to do in the animation pipeline, so I want to try a little bit of everything. I'm leaning towards character animation, character rigging, but I hope that answers your question. And as if in the other part of your question, you asked, do I think it will replace art school? I can't say because I never went to art school. It all depends on you and your needs. I wouldn't say that this would replace art school just because the length of the program is only 2 years. I definitely recommend to have any other supplemental learning on top of school regardless of where you go, because the industry is constantly changing, and it's always good to polish up your skills and knowledge so that way you could be the best applicant when you apply to those jobs, or so that way you could be more well-rounded yourself when you're trying to go in solo, if you're going the solo route like I am. Angel Ice Storm asks, I do have a question about the animation book you have. What's the best place to buy it, in Barnes & Nobles or Amazon? I always recommend Amazon if you can, because it's normally cheaper. If you have Prime, it's definitely worth it. And if you're in the United States or any other European countries, I believe, Amazon has the best return policies too. So Amazon's the way to go. I'll leave the link down below as well. And the book that Angel is talking about is the Animation Survival Kit. That's the animation Bible for all animation students. I recommend that you guys get it. I don't have it on me right now, but here's a picture of it right here. Rainlef asks, at the end of the year, do you have to make a short film for animation? The answer is no. The program is 2 years long. The first year, you learn a lot of the basics of the animation pipeline. The second year, that's when you get a chance to work on an animated featured short film. You get a chance to pitch it towards the end of your first year, and then they pick 2 to 3 projects, and you get to choose on which projects to work on, and you focus the whole year on animated that short. And so it's not like other traditional programs where you make an animated shorts at the end of each semester or each year. And I hope that answers your question. I'll leave a link down below to the program that my school has. Cyan Rose asks, now that you moved to Atlanta, will you enroll into a new animation school, or will you continue through your previous school long distance? At this moment, I don't think so. I want to take a year off, a gap year, to figure out what I want to do, brush up on my fundamentals, and figure out where in animation that I want to focus on, and do a lot more research on the schools in the area if I want to go back, or just do the online method. But at this moment, I want to take my time and kind of settle in a little bit first before fully delving into what I'm going to be doing after that gap year. Cyan Rose also asks, what type of animation are you interested in getting into? Traditional studio animation, gaming, or freelancing? At this moment, I'm not sure, but my end goal is to have my own creative studio. I'm already registered as a business, but I want to create my own animated shorts about my home country and my life events and more. But to be able to do that, I feel like I need to go through the traditional hiring methods to see how animation pipelines are run in other companies. I definitely am super interested in doing character art for the gaming industry, but I know that wasn't a straightforward answer. Right now I'm still in my experimenting phase, but my end goal is to run my own studio. Since the executives are always cutting out shows left and right, I want to have full creative control of what I will work on at the end of the day, but I know that I won't just get there immediately, so I want to try to go through the regular traditional route first, and then give that a try. Moving questions. Jamil asks, what made you want to move out of Florida? Simple answer, it's expensive. Inflation has brought up the price of living here, and it's impossible to even find a house, a 1-bedroom, any type of room. I had 4 roommates and I still couldn't find anything for months. So I was like forced to move out due to inflation and price gouging and all of that. This person asks, is Atlanta really much cheaper than South Florida? I live 2 hours away from Miami and I thought about going to university in the Atlanta area. I would say rent-wise, it's not that much cheaper, but I do believe you get more value for your money here. For the price of a 2-bedroom in Miami, we're able to get a house here with me and my roommate. In terms of utilities, it ends up balancing out. In Miami, a lot of the utilities are included in the bill. Here, I'm not used to paying gas, water, or trash, which makes it just around the same price. But in terms of like cost of living, I think gas is much cheaper here. I find groceries to be a little bit cheaper here, but it definitely depends on your needs. I definitely prefer living here over Miami, but that's because I grew up in Miami. There's a lot of cultural things I do not like about it compared to Atlanta, but that's up to you and your lifestyle. Blueberry Pancakes asks, how did you find the patience to keep finding places to move? Because finding a place is really stressful. Moving out on your own can be hard and expensive. I agree, and my answer is that I have no other choice. I do not have the privilege that most people have where they can live with their parents for free. I still pay half of my rent when I was living with my parent, and that's because I'm a first-generation immigrant and my dad cannot financially take care of me. So I had no other choice, and the thing that kept me going was that I had friends that were also in the same situation, and we've been planning this for the past 2 years, and having one other person or even 2 or 3 is super helpful. And as for the logistics of it, I'll make a more dedicated video on how we actually plan for the whole move and stuff like that. Blueberry Pancakes also asked, what advice can you give to people who are considering moving out on their own, but rent is so expensive that it makes it hard to do? Oh, number one, if you're not in a situation like I am and your parents are paying for your basic necessity, I would say stay with them for as long as you can. The world out there isn't sweet, and I understand that if you have toxic parents, it can be very, very difficult. And that time, I would say just find a really good job. I would recommend customer service to get started and save as much as you can. And also, it helps to set in your expectations really well. Don't plan to move to a super expensive city, because then it'll take you much longer to actually do that and like maintain that style of living. And as for any other advice, I'm planning on making a whole dedicated video about that, since oh man, the whole process was super stressful. Blueberry Pancakes also asked, does YouTube pay you the same amount no matter where you live? I would say I'm not sure, because I live in the United States and I know that our ad rates in different countries vary. So depending on where you're located, you might actually receive less money, but you still get a paycheck at the end of the day from YouTube if you're still posting and getting views, but those also vary a lot. I'm not the best person for this, so I'll recommend some channels that can answer this much better, like Roberta Blake. Some frequently asked questions that I get. Which app do I draw in? I mostly draw in Clip Paint Studio all of the time. If not, it's in Autodesk Sketchbook. If it's another program, I usually link it in the description. Masquerade asks, do you do custom designs? Not at the moment, but yes, I will have it open on my online shop to do custom art on different products. So keep an eye on for that when that opens. Some art inspiration related questions. Call me anything as. From what age did you start drawing? I've been drawing since I was very little, since I could pick up a pencil. I got a lot of inspiration from cartoons, as well as my mom was an artist, so she really fostered that in me when I was much younger. What gave you motivation to draw? I had no friends, and I had a much lower socioeconomics compared to when I was in Haiti, when I immigrated here. So a lot of people made fun of me because I was poor. So all I had was pen and paper. So I would just use that to cope and try to escape this reality. So it stuck because I still had trouble making friends even into my adulthood. I was super outgoing when I was younger in Haiti, but when I came here, I had nobody. I was the only child for a long time, and so those carried into adulthood and maybe become super introverted. So I leaned more into art and escapism and anime, and I ended up loving it. And I'm really happy I stuck through with it because I think that's how I survived those really dark times. And from what age did you start viewing drawing as a career? I would say that I've been viewing art as a career since I was 14, but it didn't actually happen until much more recently. And I'm 22 years old now, and it's thanks to a lot of the support here on the channel. I've been getting a lot of opportunities because I draw a lot now, and it's crazy to think about that now. But yeah, I've been planning to be an artist since I was 14, since I started this channel. I wanted to become an animator ever since then. And I started to see the decline in a lot of animated shows from big executives. So I really wanted to make my own shows, and I know that I needed money. So I started watching YouTubers like Roberto Blake that would treat YouTube as like a marketing vehicle for their own goals. So I'm like, oh, if I can use YouTube as my marketing vehicle, then I can use that to fund my animation career. So I had this for such a long time. It's Zane asks, who are your inspiration when it comes to art and animation? I have so many. It's really hard to pick out a lot, but for digital arts, I must say is Ocean-chan. She's the one that got me into digital arts in the first place. I first saw her work on DeviantArt many years ago, and I did not know what digital art was, and I thought it was so cool. And so it inspired my very first YouTube channel, as you guys can see from this video of me trying to replicate some of her style with a mouse. As for animation, I would say some creators of Hell of a Boss and BM Puppycat, and a lot of animators from the channel Federator Network, because that's the route that I want to take. I want to go the solo freelance route when it comes to animation. I want to be able to make my own animated web shows and have be able to reach that level of success that they have just on the internet, because I do not like executives or people telling me what to do. So that's my end goal. I'm so sorry, I went on a tangent, but I hope that kind of answers it. I have a lot of inspiration when it comes to art. AP Waffles asks, who are your favorite artists? What are some artists who have inspired you via style, etc.? Favorite Genshin character, favorite artist. Oh, that piggybacks to the previous question, and I have a lot since I mentioned some art and animation inspiration. I'm gonna talk about Ergo Josh really inspires me a lot on YouTube. Rosh draws that super semi-realistic style. There's a lot more artists when it comes to style. There's so much that I can't list, but those are the ones that I watch a lot on YouTube in terms of learning and who have inspired my style. I would say a lot of Studio Ghibli. I can't think exactly the name of some of the artists, but I like to mix a little bit of anime with semi-realism. I'm not sure that I even have my own style. I'm still discovering a lot of it and still trying to see what works. For the longest time, I liked the whole painterly style and one layer, but now I'm leaning a little bit back to cel-shaded art a little bit more, but it does require a lot more work, I believe, technical work per se. And who's your favorite Genshin character? I would say Venti, based off character design alone. I haven't played a whole lot of Genshin Impact. I played at the beginning, but I still need to play more so that way I can get into the multiplayer route so I could play with some friends. Some art advice related questions. Alright, Eisen Genesis asks, how do beginners get started in animation and game art? I would just say, pull out anything and just draw. Just draw. And for animation, get a flip book. Get the app, flip a clip. Start animating a ball. Start animating anything. Start animating eyes. And a flip book meaning just get a bunch of sticky notes and just start animating on it. I would say the best way to start is to just fuel your curiosity, like as if you're a cat, and just get more of the fun stuff, and then slowly build into the fundamentals. Especially when it comes to like keeping interest. I know a lot of people always tell you to hit the books, but I don't find it very fun that way. And especially it kind of breaks my heart when a lot of people go into the fundamentals right away. There's a lot of friends that I know that wanted to become animators and things like that, and they've given up by this point, by this age, and that breaks my heart. And so I believe the best way to start is by fueling your creativity, by fueling your curiosity, doing the fun stuff, doing what, like healing that inner child, not healing, but feeding that inner child per se. And then once you figure out what's fun, it helps you develop which direction that you want to go, and then dive in straight into the fundamentals and how to get better at that. So that's my best advice. Don't try to limit yourself. Go crazy, go wild, figure out where you want to go, figure out what you want to learn, figure out what you like about it. Do you like the pacing? Do you like the storytelling? There's so many aspects of animation and storytelling that you won't know until you experiment. Have fun and figure out what works for you, and once you figure that out, go all in on it. Figure out how to become the best at it. So Sterylin asks, what are the steps you took to start an art online store and sell your art piece? I'm still figuring that out. The only place I truly sold my art is in conventions and freelancing. So this is something I'm going to be documenting on my YouTube channel with studio vlogs, and I do not want to give advice on something I'm not completely well versed in. So that's something I want you to stay tuned on the channel for, since oh man, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad investments. I don't want you to just tell you, oh, get this, get that, but then discovering that, oh, later on, that wasn't the best investment. So yes, that's something I'm gonna cover. That's a whole series I have on my channel. So please stay tuned, and I'll be more than happy to help once I'm a little bit more experienced in that area. La Luna asks, what do you recommend to someone thinking of restarting art and animation? I've left it behind because I want to focus on other more lucrative, so I've been told, careers, but the pull towards my old dream is there. Now I regret not going after it. I'm 20, by the way. First of all, you're super young. You still have so much time to go into animation, and as I recommended to somebody else earlier in the video, I definitely want to say feed in your creative desires, feed in that inner child, experiment a lot, try everything, and try everything that is free, that is just drawing, getting free animation apps like Flip a Clip, and see what really works, and have a lot of fun with it. Because if you're not having a lot of fun with it, then it becomes chore, it becomes homework, and then your mind really doesn't want to do it at the end of the day, and you realize, oh man, I want to do this thing. And make the process fun, and once you have fun, you experiment a lot, then I would say go delve in deep and figure out, oh, what do I want to try, and that is like another step in the experimentation process. Or maybe you try some more expensive animation program like Toon Boom. They have some cheaper plans, or maybe if you're able to find a lab that has it, or you can go the Clip Paint Studio route. I know they have an animation tool built in. Figure out if you want to do frame by frame, or if you want to do rigged animation. Another cool way to experiment is by doing short TikTok animation trends. I see a lot of them on my feed. I'll try to make a video about that, or recommend some below that I recommend to just have fun with. That's the best way I recommend to rekindle an old feeling like that and get yourself back into art and make a habit out of it. And then you can go in and be a little bit more disciplined and get into some more structured learning, going to school, or taking an online course, or joining a Discord community that has weekly challenges. Some general and miscellaneous related question. Frou asks, how much does your setup cost? I do not know from the top of my head, but I initially invested $1,200 in 2019 to build my PC, and I had a monitor back then that was given to me for free, and these two monitors right here were given to me by Dell. this was given to me by another tablet manufacturer for this channel. Including the price that I invested myself, I would say around $2,000, but everything probably cost $3,000 to $4,000, but I'm not sure. I didn't do the math. _.png asked, what's the most memorable experience for you? It was starting animation school. I've been wanting to do that for such a long time, and it was a dream, and it really changed my life, documenting the whole experience. It grew the channel to 50K. I've met some really talented people, and I finally figured out where I want to improve in life. And the whole experience was just so nice because it felt like I was like feeding my inner child, because I've been wanting to do this for so long and I didn't know how, when, what to study, what program. And that whole year I've touched so many different programs and I have so much curiosity. There's so much things I want to explore now, and I would have known that if I didn't go to school. And I'm really happy that it was in my price range and that financial aid covered for all of it. Yeah, I would say school. School was, despite being super stressful, was a really nice experience. As in Genesis says, will you make more videos in the future? Yes, I will. I have so many series planned. I have Study With Me series planned. I have studio vlogs planned. I have more information about my school. I still have a couple of vlogs that I filmed from school that I want to upload. There's a lot more challenges that I want to try. I definitely want to take you guys on the journey of me self-studying animation and seeing how I go about that. I definitely this journey is not done, guys. I'm gonna take over the world with my animation. Well, at least that's what I tell myself, because it helps me. That's my big end goal. So I want to make an animated feature film, not just one, not just two. I want that to be my livelihood, and I will not stop until that happens. And this channel is going to be documenting the whole journey as it's been since I was 14. Eisen also asked, what do you plan for the rest of the year? Initially, this was supposed to be the start of my gap year, but I have to postpone that since I do have a scholarship for school and I need to take some more classes. I tried to take some animation classes, but because I had to move, I couldn't take a lot of them online, so I signed up for some business classes since I want to take my art business full time. I'm restarting my online art shop. I've been documenting the whole journey, so that will be up on the channel soon, as well as I'm gonna be studying a lot of the fundamentals of art. I feel like my art isn't where I want it to be, so I definitely want to practice on that. And once January 23 hits, it'll be easier for me to make a curriculum for myself to easily follow to study animation. Moo Gosh asks, how do you clean your setup? Because it always looks gorgeous. Thanks. Thank you so much. I try to keep my setup super tidy when I can. That's because my mind's always racing all the time. If my desk is super cluttered, it makes it really hard for me to be productive. But you guys only see the best parts because I'm filming it. It's not always the super tidy. I try to deep clean at least once a week. But what I recommend is like having space for everything to go, like not keeping everything on your desk. That's also why I'm really happy I got a desk that has a keyboard tray, because when I'm drawing, I put my keyboard there. I try to keep this clean, try putting things away when you're not using them, and that can be really difficult to do because you're like, oh, I'll do it later, and then doing it later adds up, and then now your desk is super cluttered and you have an assignment you want to draw and you can't reach anything, you can't find your pen. So I definitely recommend try to do things the moment they happen. The 2-minute rule: if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. If it takes more than 2 minutes, then you can think about saving it later. But that's the advice I would give to keep your desk tidy, because a tidy desk, I believe, is a clear mind. Some fun related questions. Creepy Waffle asks, what tablets or program do you find the most fun and enjoyable? I would say Autodesk Sketchbook. It's super simple to use. Like, I do have some frustration with it, but I'm so used to the program. It has such an easy learning curve. It's on every platform imaginable. And I would say my second one has to be Flip-a-Clip. Flip-a-Clip is super fun to use to make simple animation, and I've been using it since I was a kid. Scout Lodge asks, what's your most horrible art piece that you have ever done? Wow, that's a harsh question, but I can easily think of one. I have it right here in my sketchbook. It's actually the very first acrylic piece that I have done in a while. I've only done acrylic about 3 to 4 times in my life. And I would say this one's the most horrible piece because it did not come out the way I wanted. I see some people do some beautiful shading with acrylics, and I had such a hard time. And I had so much better visions for it. And the thing is, like, I messed up and I kept going. I should have just like not continued the body because I feel like I made it worse. So visually speaking, like, I showed some of my friends like, oh, Carrie, it's not that bad. But to me it is, since I had a different plan for it and I was struggling so much, and I just hate it. I thought it would work somewhat like watercolors. I used it once before, so I thought I could, but that one time that I did do it, I made the mistakes of like watering down my acrylics. So that I would say this was like the most frustrating piece to do, especially since I would have to mix the color. I didn't have a lot of acrylics, and I didn't have a lot of the colors for the skin tone, so the skin tone looked super discolored, and it was supposed to be my persona. And oh man, I really want to revisit that and get better with acrylics someday. Creepy Waffle also asks, favorite video you made? I would have to say it's this video, creating pro art on the go. I didn't make up the best title for it, but I had a lot of fun where I took my laptop, my whole setup outside, and I was drawing. My friend really helped me out to film this video. I was getting it from different angles, and I came back inside. It was also one of my very first sponsorships on the channel. So I was having a lot of fun working with brands, and I was having a lot of creative freedom. So I kind of went crazy with that. And it was really fun to edit. It was really fun to try out. I felt like I got a chance to mix the crazy art stuff with tech things, where I was really trying to test things out, because it was like a super high grade laptop. So I was trying to see how much can I run and how much can it hold. And I was also trying to see how mobile it was. I even bought like this desk for it. I went to the park. It was really a lot of fun to film and edit. And yeah. This was super awkward for me to film, but after hitting such a big milestone, I feel like I needed to be right in the camera and talk to you guys and have a cozy one-on-one per se. I'm trying to do that a little bit more on my channel. I'm just super nervous when it comes to the camera. I mostly like to do voiceover. I'm working on a VTuber model, so maybe when I do this again in the future, it'll be my VTuber talking and the tracking will be all nice. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, you can leave it down in the comment below. I might make a follow-up video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!